Tonight, an I-team investigation into the corruption case against Jeff Pastor. Federal prosecutors have already revealed the identity of one confidential witness in their probe at Cincinnati City Hall. That's former Cincinnati Bengal turned developer Chinena Mandukwe, but the identity of that second confidential witness has been a secret till now.
That's right. Investigative reporters Dan Monk and Paula Christian revealed the name of the second developer who helped the FBI build its case and why some attorneys are now questioning the credibility of that secret witness.
Developer Chris Hildebrant is a familiar face at City Hall. As CEO of the Morelia Group, Hildebrant asked for and got city support on many projects over the years, including this daycare center. But what happened when Hildebrant wanted to buy city land for a retail development in Oakley in 2018? On a parcel known as the Kennedy Connector. 4 anonymous sources with direct knowledge of the alleged events confirmed the Kennedy Connector was the unnamed project number 2 in last November's bribery indictment against suspended city councilman Jeff Pastor, and that Hildebrant was confidential witness number 2. We matched the dates from Pastor's indictment with these city documents obtained through a public records request. Pastor's attorney, Ben Dusing, had this to say about the I-team's discovery.
I find information regarding Mr. Hildebrand to be extremely relevant, to my representation of Mr. Pastor.
Dusing knows the identity of the secret witness, but says a court order bans him from publicly disclosing it.
It would seem that dots have been connected.
Hildebrandt's attorney, Chad Zipfel, would not go on camera for this story. But in a statement to the I-team, he says in part, Mr. Hildebrandt will not dignify the allegations by such unnamed sources with any response. This isn't the first time that Hildebrandt has been a witness in a bribery investigation. Hildebrandt says that Sycamore Township trustee Tom Weidman asked him for bribes to support land deals from 2009 to 2012, according to a lawsuit the Morelia Group, which Hildebrandt is CEO of, filed in Hamilton County last month. The state auditor's office investigated bribery allegations against Weidman last year. It ended its probe with no charges being filed.
We have some suspicions about what's happened, and if we can prove those, I think they'll be very helpful to both getting the frivolous lawsuit dismissed and also pursuing our own claims.
Todd McMurtry is Weidman's attorney. He filed a defamation lawsuit against Hildebrandt in February, claiming the bribery allegations are a vicious lie that damaged Weidman's reputation. He says he will seek evidence of Hildebrandt's potential history as an FBI informant soon as part of his lawsuit.
I think it goes to the credibility of the witness. And also we want to know if there was if he informed at all against Mr. Weidman. So it goes directly to allegations that I think would support our claims for defamation.
Hildebrandt's attorney asked the state for immunity for Hildebrandt in the Sycamore bribery investigation, according to state auditor records. When state agents asked Hildebrandt about bribery allegations, he refused to answer questions. He took the Fifth Amendment 21 times. Here's a recording of that 2020 meeting.
I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment right. Plead the Fifth.
Hildebrandt also refused to answer questions about a fake email he created and sent to himself in which it appeared that Weidman was demanding bribes. His attorney admitted to state agents that the email was fake, according to auditors' investigative records. But Weidman had plenty to say in his interview with state agents.
I mean, I can't even believe this. I'm going to sue this guy into frickin' Stone Age.
The I-team also discovered that Hildebrandt's father, Charles Hildebrandt, served prison time for fraud involving the Florence Freedom Minor League Stadium, where his son Chris was a player, according to court documents. In a motion filed in U.S. District Court in 2006, the elder Hildebrandt asked for a shorter prison term. He wrote that his son, who he did not name, helped the FBI in a drug investigation of Pete Rose Jr. and, quote, even wore a wire on several occasions in the attempt to catch Mr. Pete Rose and Mr. Pete Rose Jr. in their gambling and drug trafficking case. Chris Hildebrandt's attorney says any allegation that his client helped the FBI in its case against Rose or Rose Jr., quote, is simply untrue. In a statement to the I-team, he says in part, quote, Christopher Hildebrandt has a younger brother who is acquainted with Mr. Rose Jr. If there's any truth at all to the filing, it could be that Mr. Hildebrandt's brother, to whom Charles might be referring. Rose Jr. pleaded guilty to a minor drug charge in 2005. He was sentenced to 1 month in prison. Meanwhile, Dusing says the credibility of all cooperating witnesses are important to Pastor's case. No trial date has been set. He faces several years in prison if convicted.
And it goes directly to the integrity of these prosecutions.
Paula Christian and Dan Monk, WCPO 9 I-Team.
If you would like to learn more about the Minnesota bank that sued Hildebrant in federal court and that later settled, in fact, that suit, read Dan and Paula's story over on WCPO.com.